Hello, dear viewer, and welcome to Dragonstorm Studios' Top 10 Magic the Gathering art in Standard for 2020. For the year that was, or perhaps to many of the year that wasn't, 2020 brought us some amazing Magic the Gathering products, many of which I didn't see. I am used to drafting at my local game store, and unfortunately, I just did not get a chance to do that for so many of the supplementary products that came out this year. Things like Jumpstart, the secret layers that came out, and the signature spell books that were available online, Unsanctioned, the box that came out. All of these things I just didn't see. So I'm going to focus today on the 4 standard sets, only one of which I actually drafted and saw a certain number of cards from, and that was Theros Beyond Death. Still a very large card pool. My original list was about 67 cards that I had begun with, and then I kind of whittled it down to this top 10. There are a couple of stipulations, however. First of all, I did not look at lands. We saw some amazing full art lands in Zendikar Rising, those incredible lands that we saw in Theros Beyond Death. I do want to mention one, though. That was the Evolving Wilds by Jonas Darrow from Ikoria. It just turned out so beautifully. But I'm not going to be looking at lands. I'm also not going to be looking at any of the alternate art cards as well. That was able to make the list a little more manageable. I do want to have 2 honorable mentions, however. One is the cutest card of 2020, and that honor is going to go to Lutri the Spell Chaser. I love this card by Lee Setiawan. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's such a beautiful card. I love the little tongue sticking out, the cool effects, and just the pose is perfect. It just looks so cool. And also honorable mention for probably the card that was the biggest, the most horrific, the most terrifying card, and that goes to Aspect of a Lamprey. This is a product of my nightmares, beautifully done by Alexander who we've seen before on the channel. It's terrifying. It reminds me of that scene from the movie Paul, when he's imitating the Predator monster from the movies. He's, anytime. Those of you who know will know, and those who don't, go see the movie. It's really good. So without further ado, here is my top 10 list of the standard cards from 2020 regards to art, a very subjective list. Number 10, we have Greater Sandworm by G. Rutkowski, and my goodness, has this Sandworm been updated since Amon Ket. He is fierce looking, he is covered in spikes, he is emerging violently from the ground, and you've got those wonderful dragons or drakes for scale there, showing distance in the background. Beautiful color palette, which has dark toward the bottom left, layered toward top right, creates some great contrast. Just an amazing piece of art. Number 9, we have Terror of the Peaks by Andrei Kozensky, and this, just like the Sandworm, this one just gets the place on the top 10 for the pose. It's so aggressive looking. It looks nothing like a dragon I've seen before. It has a feral, nasty, aggressive personality to it, and I love it. It really stands out. Great colors, great use of light from the breath or from the dragon's mouth to create some interesting reflections as well. Just so well done. Number 8, we have a more tame sort of card. This is Garrison Cat, and this could have easily been swapped with Lutri for cutest card. I like it though because it's got a neat perspective showing that ground cat eye view, and I'm not gonna lie, the flavor text here influenced me greatly. Just giving it a bit more of a context, the art kind of giving it that sense of it actually being a garrison, being affectionate to the soldiers. It worked in so many levels for me, which I really truly did love. Number 7, we have Fiend Artisan by Yigit Goroglu. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that one too. This one here is terrifying in ways which I almost couldn't put words to when I was looking at this picture. You've got an almost human child-like pose with holding the doll, but you've got those double eyes, much like Luris had as well, another card considered for that top 10 list. And it almost looks like when you have a mirror with a border, and that mirror border is a little bit offset, so you see double of something, like you see yourself the wrong angle in that mirror, and you've got 4 eyes, 2 sets of 2. Same sort of look here. It's got a disturbing quality to it. So Necromentia, I guess it is, by Mila Pesic. And this one here, again, just such a unique piece of art to go with a very strange card. This one here, I would as an artist would have had a hard time thinking of what to do for it, but Mila has really created this amazing piece of art, great facial expression, like I said, incredible color palette, and captures that sense of mental anguish that elf character is going through. Such a unique looking card. Number 5, moving to the top 5, we have Nahiri's Binding. This one totally takes the cake for me when it comes to action and just the dynamic aspect of it. Magali Villeneuve did an amazing job showing Nahiri and Jace locked in, perhaps combat, maybe just an ambush perhaps, but I just love the angle. It's something out of a film, something you'd see in an action sequence, which looks so good. I was really impressed. Moving to number 4, we have Sage of Mysteries. I have always been captivated by people who can achieve amazing clothing, fabric textures. And this one just beautifully renders the young woman, the wizard, as she is passing through the water. It looks very natural, very realistic. And even just the hand gestures are so natural looking, so wonderfully portrayed. And beautifully offset too, using that rule of thirds to create this really harmonious look to the piece. And John Stanko really captured that peaceful, serene, mysterious, I guess, aspect of this card, which is just beautiful. Number 3, it was done by Wiley Beckert, and she actually, one of my stipulations to myself was not to have too many pieces of art, in fact, no more than one, by the same artist. And this is one of the reasons why. Just Thwart the Grave did such an amazing job of creating a really almost modern approach to a Magic card. It's so interesting looking with all of the dynamic poses and the color choice. It looks almost like watercolor in terms of the saturation of colors. And those hands coming down remind me of a scene from Labyrinth when Jennifer Connelly's character is being, I guess, set down through this passageway by the helping hands. It's eerie, but it's still got this beauty to it, which is just wonderful. Speaking of artists who could have an entire list all to themselves, number 2 is Meyer Triton by Seb McKinnon. Again, not a beautiful piece in terms of the subject matter, but in terms of the application. There are so many ways that this could have been hokey or cheesy, but Mr. McKinnon just does such an amazing job of creating this look to show the zombie merfolk, the pollution in the water causing the fish to rise to the top, subtle little things like that. And the background is so ethereal and interesting, and the colors are just beautiful. But the one which just topped all of those, number 1 on my list, is Dream Trawler. And it's mostly because of the pose. It's such an interesting way of portraying a sphinx. And sphinxes are hard to draw because that connection between human head and animal body is so difficult to pull off. But here, Jesper Epstein just completely nails it. The pose is so elegant and precise, showing that moment of contact with the water as the Sphinx travels over it. The delicate way that the feet and paws and legs are portrayed, it looks like it's in motion. So I hope you enjoyed that list, and please feel free in the comments to let me know what your own personal top 10 were. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me what you thought. Tell me about the order that I came up with. And if you do feel the video does provide some entertainment to you, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful start to 2021.